Hi, so we're here with a little bit of a change of pace. We're going to have a cooking portion for you, and I'm here with Jim Weaver. He is the executive chef and owner of Tre Piani. It's a restaurant in Princeton, I believe.
The Forest Village.
And maybe you can tell us a little bit about your restaurant.
Sure. I've been there about 11 years now. Tre Piani means 3 floors in Italian, so it's quite a large restaurant. So we do a lot of parties and those sorts of things as well. We also have a wine bar called the Tre Bar, which has like a small plates menu as well, and about 30 wines by the glass. So lots of stuff, lots of good stuff going on. So I'm a big advocate of local ingredients and seasonal things, and constantly changing the menu. I have a new spring menu out right now, and so I was asked to come today and to prepare something with some good local foods, and here I am.
And let me say, I'm a big foodie. I love restaurants, and as soon as I heard you coming on the show, I'm like, I'm looking up this restaurant, and it's gorgeous. Let me tell you, I've never been there, but I looked at the pictures. I told you before we went on air. Beautiful. That's kind of restaurant that makes you want to have a boyfriend, just so you can take me there. It looks really romantic. Looks like a nice, cute date place. Really warm environment. And I actually, looked down your menu. Okay, I skipped a desserts menu, basically, but. Oh my God, like heart stopping. I just see chocolate and
What are the prices like, though?
I don't know. What are the prices like?
Well, it's a broad range. These days, you got to be very price conscious, and so I have a whole section with some lighter entrees. I've got fresh salads and soups and pastas, and so all the way up to entrees that might be a little bit over $30. But it's all good fresh stuff. So my philosophy is buy the best.
So for all you guys or girls out there, girls that have the sweet tooth. Drag your boys or your other girlfriends over, and for guys who, want to impress a girl, maybe this is a kind of nice restaurant to go. And today he'll be showing us what is this? It's a ceviche of scallops.
Ceviche of sea scallops.
Okay.
Yep.
And so, is there anything you want to add, Adam? Or?
Oh no, I think you said it all. Except like Princeton Forestdale Village, one thing you don't have to fight parking there. That's one thing I do like about it.
That's a big asset over there. Great access and lots of free parking.
And there's some restaurants here in town. I don't think Princeton's ever had a classically good, well-priced, good food restaurant. So I'm going to have to go to take my wife and go there. The food's fresh and the prices are somewhat moderate. Why not? We don't drink wine, though. We're doing one glass of red wine.
Well, we've got a full bar, so
okay.
If you prefer something else or just something light, that's fine, too.
So we're going to be watching your talent, so and we're going to step back.
Yeah.
You're fast, you're quick draw.
Oh, it's a quick and easy dish, so I'm going to go through that a little bit and talk about Slow Food a little bit, which is an organization I started in central New Jersey many years ago, and just take it from there. So.
All right, so
we'll
we'll back up and let you do your work and work your magic.
You can give it the blow-by-blow if you want. Maybe you can narrate. He can narrate what he's doing.
Yeah, sure. So, well, first let me tell you about slow food. The international slow food movement is it's kind of the opposite of fast food, and so we preserve, promote, protect local foods, local food traditions, return to a table as a source of pleasure. We promote conviviality, and we like to educate people about all the great stuff we have. A lot of people think, though it's the Garden State, they really don't understand the variety of great quality ingredients we have here all year round. So this being spring, there's a lot of really neat stuff coming out. We've got fresh soft shell crab and all the greens and a lot of fresh produce, asparagus and strawberries, and great seafood. We're the #2 producer of seafood on the Eastern Seaboard. So it's a lot of very interesting things. So you should check out slowfoodusa.org. We've got a huge festival coming up at the end of June at Hopewell Valley Vineyards. I believe it's the 27th and 28th, whatever that Saturday and Sunday is. And we've got slow food chapters from along the East Coast. We've got 5 of the top wineries in the state, about 7 or 8 great local restaurants serving fresh local food. We've got educational tents. We've got a lot of pretty well-known people come to speak and demonstrate, and authors and all kinds of stuff. So it's a great event. So you want to check that out as well. But anyway, what I'm going to make here today is a sea scallop ceviche with some of these beautiful local sea scallops. It's a very simple dish. It's a very easy dish. As you can tell, I don't have a stove to work on, so I decided best to make something cold for today. And this is something that you can make with a variety of different seafoods. I chose scallops because I think they work great in this dish, and they're local, and they're delicious. So that's what I'm going to start with. So these are local New Jersey scallops. I'm going to start with. And sometimes they come with this little muscle on the side, so you just kind of want to remove that because it's going to be a little bit tough. Okay? It's a real simple process. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of slice these up thin. And these are raw scallops, but they're actually going to cook with an acid, which is going to be mostly from lime juice, but also a little bit from tomatoes. And I have some beautiful local greenhouse tomatoes. It's a little early for the stuff out of the fields, but these are still fantastic local tomatoes. So I'm just going to put this all in a bowl. And this is something you could really make a day ahead of time if you wanted to as well. But it's also good, nice and fresh. I'd like to let it sit for a few minutes before I serve it, but we'll plate one up anyway, and then we'll let it sit. And I know that there's some folks in this room that are going to be able to have a taste of some of this in a little bit as well.
Oh, yes.
So we just have these scallops in there. I'm going to add to that, of course, not local limes, but lime juice works very well in this. So it's easy to juice them if you just kind of roll them and smash them inside a little bit first. You don't really need a big fancy juicer to do this. Okay. I don't even think I need all 4. And I'm just going to squeeze that juice right in there. Okay. All right, that's enough lime juice. Okay. Then I'm going to take a little bit of tomato. Now, tomato has some good acid in it as well, and it's also got some great color, of course, great flavor, and it's going to, because you want to add, some nice colors and textures and so on and so forth to the food that you eat. So I certainly don't need a whole one here. I'm going to take a few slices and just kind of dice these up a little bit. Okay. Little green onion. I'm just going to cut these ends off. They can be a little bit dirty from time to time. Just put a little bit of that in there. Okay. And a little avocado. This is something, you can put a lot of different things in this dish. Depending, what time of year it is, what you like, what you don't like. You could put hot peppers in this. You could put celery. You could put carrots. You could put just about anything that you like. Also works good with a variety of seafood, as I said. You can do this with shrimp or tuna or snapper or a variety of different seafoods. So again, I just want to kind of dice this avocado up. Throw that in there. Okay. And then we've got some nice fresh cilantro. Little known fact, New Jersey is actually one of the largest producers of cilantro in the country. And cilantro being really the most popular herb in the world, it's a lot of cilantro. So we're just going to take a little bit of that, chop that up. Cilantro just gives a nice fresh taste. You don't have to use it. You could add other herbs as well. What we're really demonstrating here is a cooking method rather than an actual recipe. So you notice I didn't really measure anything. It's just a lot of stuff going in there, a lot of good stuff, a little bit of love, and that's it. I brought a roasted yellow pepper with me. I'll give it some nice color, add a little sweetness to it, another dimension. It makes it just that much more interesting. Okay. All right, so we've basically got the dry ingredients and the lime juice in there. I'm going to add a little bit of sea salt. I like to use sea salt, especially in salads and whatnot. It's your most expensive kind of salt, but it's the best salt for you because most salt that you buy is something like 99.9% sodium. And sea salt has a lot of natural elements in it that your body needs anyway, so there's actually less sodium in it as well. And it also, a lot of times, especially this is a coarse sea salt, has a little bit of a crunch, so it holds up a little bit better in a salad. Then I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper, just because I like a little spice, maybe a little more than that. And then I also like some crunchy elements in this. Sometimes, You know, you could put toasted like sunflower seeds in this if you wanted to. I've seen pomegranate, you know, in the winter months. In this case, I've got some toasted garlic chips. We'll put those in there. Okay? And then all we have to do is mix that up and let that marinate a little bit. So I would suggest you let this sit for at least 15 minutes or so, and you'll notice a lot of liquid will come out, which is natural, and that's because the acid that's in here is actually cooking the scallops. And so the acid from the lime juice, the acid from the tomatoes, and between that and the salt that's in there, which is drawing out moisture, you get a lot of stuff in the bottom, which is actually quite delicious. It all makes its own dressing. So I'm just going to plate a little bit of this up. I brought some also some local baby greens here. These come from South Jersey, from a place called Art Greenhouses. I'll put one of those on the plate. I'm going to put just a little bit of the salad on there, the ceviche, nice scallop on top. Maybe we'll do a little cilantro garnish. A couple more toasted chips. Maybe a little more tomato for garnish. And you got a nice little appetizer ready to go there.
Well, that's really nice, and
you.
it was really quick. You know what's great about this? It's quick and it's healthy, and it's one of those things that you can have in France. I mean, you can have in Italy. You can have in Spain. Spain's really known for the ceviche. So
Well, South and Central America is really where it began, but yeah, you got versions of this really all over the world.
yeah. So I mean, and it's not, you're not cutting any corners. This is really the real deal.
Yeah.
And
It's good for hangovers too. That's what I learned.
Is it? Well, he was in Central America for a while.
Central and
so
South America. My wife's from Ecuador and everything. But yeah, and you're right. With freshing, the only problem in South America, you have to make sure you washed everything before
Sure,
it actually came. But here it looks completely fresh. And you seem to be very altruistic, though. You want to promote this slow food. It's been a theme almost for this whole show, hasn't it? Been people coming
there's
on.
been a lot of it.
Yeah,
On this area, I feel like this is a very rich area. You guys are lucky.
Well, I think a lot of people are in tune to the foods here. We are still the Garden State, right? And you can find local produce and you can eat healthy and deliciously.
Yeah, no, there's, I mean, it's unbelievable. We started, I started a chapter about 11 years ago, and now I'm a co-leader. I have a couple other people that work with me on this, and it's just grown by leaps and bounds. I can tell you statistically, when I started the chapter 11 years ago in the United States, because this is an organization that started in Italy that's really all about, you know, local and so on and so forth, and it's still where the international headquarters is. But in the United States, back then there was 5 chapters in the United States, and there was 4 members in New Jersey and about 600 members nationally. Now you fast forward, and Slow Food USA hadn't even begun yet. So that happened 2 years after we started our local chapter. Now there's something like 165 chapters, pushing 100,000 members just in the United States. Cool. So it's just it's an incredible organization, and it's not an exclusive organization. Anybody can become a member.
Right.
So it's very important.
Very efficient too. When you use, you don't have to travel that far to get your food. It doesn't have to be,
Yeah, well, hopefully not. I mean, that's a big problem these days,
Right.
So
Transporting things halfway around the world.
support local,
Yeah.
support local whenever you can.
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, like I mentioned before, I'm a big food junkie, so Food Network is just sort of my. It's quite close to my heart. But they go to places like Seattle, San Francisco, and they really do outline sort of this local, organic, grown things, everything that comes within 25 miles. Sure. And I sort of looked at that place enviously, just wow, everything's there, everything's fresh, and it's good, and it's not diet anything, it's really natural food. And I think it's really cool to hear that it's really on our doorstep, right here in New Jersey, in Central Jersey, that, not just you, but there was Honeybrook Farms, there was, I think, there was another chef that was on as well, and she, the French, the French,
well, she was trained in France.
The British woman, but she also sort of exuded that as well. So I think that we should call Food Network and just be like, Jersey.
Yeah, we're here.
They're in New York City. They can drive 30 minutes. Come and check this out.
It's good to know where your food comes from. I mean, you've seen on the press all these things about, tainted spinach or tainted peppers or swine flu and all these things, and which isn't really a foodborne thing, but Asian bird flu is, and it's because they don't know where it came from. And if you know the sources of your food, this is a non-problem, because if, God forbid, something does happen, you just pick up the phone and say, hey, look, Farmer Jones got salmonella from your eggs, and it's done.
Yeah, nothing kills a romantic date, more than a deadly virus or
exactly.
vomiting or something like that.
But
So
this has been I've discussed this with the other chefs. I am still, and I'm not a food snob at all. As I get older, a little more sophisticated, I appreciate good food. But what about these idiots who wait in line to go to Applebee's, TGIFs? What can you say to them? Can you slap them? Can you?
I think the most frustrating part for me is the advertising that they do, and about how local, fresh, and this, and chef made, and so on and so forth. And it should be illegal.
It's a corporate lie.
It really is. Yeah.
And they keep on telling you, and some people choose to believe it. It's Swanson TV dinners,
Yeah.
and they're paying money for this.
Yeah.
And so
P.T. Barnum said it best as far as that goes, So.
But you must want to slap them. I mean, we had a gift card to Applebee's. I'm mentioning names, and we had to wait like 25. We went through the gift card. We had to wait 25 minutes to get in. For this happening experience and stuff.
Yeah, it's scary stuff, and factory-made food, and again, you don't know where it came from. And
what do you take on the media? Since we have so many channels now and so many people are doing food type things, are any of them frauds? Do you disagree with any of them, or?
Well, no. I mean, I think that it's good that a lot of these people are raising awareness to somebody. There's certainly some shows that I might prefer to others, and
but they're all chefs in their own right and have their own way of doing things.
Yeah. I mean, whether it's about entertaining or cooking or this or that or whatever the case may be. It's good. I mean, it's good that it's raising awareness to some extent, but they should ban some of the commercials that are in between on those shows as well. They should be a little bit more selective. If they're trying to have quality chefs, they should have quality commercials and quality sponsors as well.
Well, Adam's just trying to start beef. He's trying to make chefs say on air, I hate Rachel Wade or something, and then there you go. But it's interesting because if in the best restaurants in New York City, in the best restaurants you will see anywhere, every chef will say, John George's, whoever, they will say fresh ingredients, the fresh and quality ingredients. That you don't need to add really that much. It's about fresh. And even what is it, David Cho, he's the David Chang. David Chang, yes, he's the hot new chef. But it's always about these quality, fresh ingredients. And they always exude that, no matter if you're in Paris, if you're in London, if you're in Tokyo, if you're in New York.
Is that why the French aren't fat? Because they walk a lot, have the wine, and they drink
that's
fresh
what they say. There's even that book, The French Diet. Why are French women skinny? French women, after eating butter and everything
in a country with 365 kinds of cheese.
And great desserts and everything.
But, so how long has your restaurant been around? I mean, have
11
you always
years.
sort of since the beginning you've been starting using this sort of slow food?
Yeah, I've always believed in it, and when slow food began, I said I got to get involved with this, and I did. So it's good.
Has it been a hard nut to crack though? Starting the restaurant. I mean, it's a hard business anyway.
Well, getting back to what we were just talking about with advertising, I'm out there on Route 1 as an independent operator, competing with a big restaurant, competing against all these national chains with public money.
Right.
And it's very difficult, it's very, very difficult. And so, I've brought it up to the point, where I'm a big advocate of supporting local foods, support local restaurants as well. It's an important thing because, you know what? It gets harder every day to just even be there, and it's frustrating.
And I like individual restaurants with their own personality that bring you the food and everything. It's homogenized.
I always complain when I go to New York City. We pass by Times Square for driving in with my friends, and I just say, who comes to New York City to go to Red Lobster? Like, who? And I just cannot. I will
all
never
these Midwesterners.
Or go to Applebee's. There's a huge Applebee's. It's like a Disneyland ride, and I say, who comes to New York? After all the pizza places, and you don't even have to go to an expensive place. There's great places in New York City for low prices.
We're not more expensive than a lot of these chains.
But
right, yeah.
After
drinks.
And I've got more passionate people. My staff is more passionate because they know that I'm passionate, and they know that we're really trying to do the right thing. And so you breed, it's this automatic thing.
But you go to Times Square or the tourist are, and you see lines out the door for Applebee's and McDonald's. And I just like, if you're coming to New York and you're eating Applebee's, there's something wrong. I don't know why did you come to New York.
But your clients, so you've finally branded some clients who like your place and they come back again.
I mean, if it wasn't for my regular customers, I don't know what I'd do. I mean, it's just they're the best, and I thank you if you're listening or watching. But
they like the food, they like the service, and they keep coming back.
Yep.
I mean, the wine, good wine selection.
Great wine selection, and we change the menu, 4 times a year. Plus, we have a bunch of additions every day, so we can really take advantage of what's in fresh and what's in season.
And now, do your wines also follow sort of the no sulfide or good sort of?
To some extent. I mean, I have some New Jersey wines on there. New Jersey is actually a big wine producer, and I'm involved with a couple of wine festivals this summer. As I mentioned, the one in Hopewell the end of June, and another one in South Jersey in August. But
Well, That's pretty cool. Locally grown wine. I think that's a really great thing. I think it sounds very appealing, actually. So
Well, I have to take my wife then. That's what I'm gonna go to La Panini because I've heard about it a lot. Yes.
maybe she won't get mad at you anymore.
Yeah. Again, no Red Lobster. Well, thank you, and we again you just give your basics again. Your restaurant, where you are, who you
It's
are.
a Tre Piani restaurant in the Princeton Forestal Village, and also Tre Bar, which serves small plates. We do a la carte Monday through Friday for lunch and Monday through Saturday for dinner. We do all kinds of parties, corporate functions, weddings, bar mitzvahs, rehearsals, dinners. I mean, you name it. You know, we do it, and then we also do catering as well if anybody needs something done at their house. And again, you know, slow food, International Slow Food Movement, slowfoodusa.org. So.
And it's an Italian restaurant?
Italian Mediterranean,
All
I
right.
call it, but
And you don't have to fight for parking. That's what
There's free
Princeton is.
parking, yeah.
Free
That's
parking.
really is
You
wonderful.
can walk right to the place in calm, serene way and just go eat.
Awesome, that sounds great. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. And I don't know if the ceviche
Can we
is
eat
ready
this?
yet. I
I mean,
mean,
do we-
yeah,
has it
oh,
been 15 minutes?
Oh
or-
yeah, it's good enough. You can eat it right now. It's
So
fine. but,
awesome.
I think I will.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was
Thank you for
great.
having me. I appreciate it.
Letting us
Okay,
know.
thank you.
Tre
Okay.
Panini, eat. Go there now.
Because we said so. And they also gave us money and stuff, right?
Sandwiches,
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, sandwiches. Their names all on the
Thank you.
advertisements.
Uh.
Are they cutting?
We're going to start here and stare at the camera.
There the camera will be like this. That's good. Better stare at that. That's where I'll take my wife. Because when we think of a new place to go to, we don't go, well, why not there? Where do you go?
Yeah.
What about kids? Like, I mean,
Yeah, we got a lot of kids in there. Not a big deal.
He's 8-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can watch me eat something then.
Yeah.